Okay, we are back. Hi. I just did my dailies since we were in the major city. And now we're going to continue on with our quest.
They found another one.
Where are we going? Okay. I was just walking through here too, doing my quests. Okay, there he is.
What do you want?
I'm investigating the murders.
Finally looking into my brother's death, eh? I get it. I'm sure you and your vice cannon pals had better things to do than your jobs. Naldin wasn't the brightest star in the sky, but he didn't deserve this.
Who would want to cause him harm?
Most of Stormhold. Naldin ran up a lot of debts. He also picked a lot of fights with the lizard skins. If the Shadow Scales didn't get him, it's because someone else moved faster.
Noted. I really should go into the bank, but I'll save it for another time. When my inventory is jam-packed.
Pardon my tears. I recently lost my wife and... I'm sorry. Can I help you?
Could you tell me about your wife?
Ironi and I always believed in the Pact. We came here to build a better life with Argonians and Nords alike. Some of my people blame the Shadow Scales. But what would they gain from her death? We treat everyone the same. It makes no sense.
Here, toss that in the air. Kind of impressive, lady. Okay, Vice Cannon Ronder asked me to look into her death.
Thank the gods! She's in the mortuary, which they keep locked. But Ironi made those locks, so I have the master key. Here, take it, please. Find out who did this. Don't allow her to become a symbol against the Pact.
Okay, I will. Alright, I better do the bank thing. I really should, huh?
I don't seem to be making much progress.
Okay, I did a bunch of banking. Way. Now we're just checking to see if there's any hidden, or not hidden, but any lore that we need to find real quick, and then we'll continue on with our quest. And I'm stuck on that. Oh, here's a book. An invitation to
scholarship.
To
I
wealth.
can smell it from here.
Oh, Sandra, please. What up? Many have spoken of the Ebonheart Pact as a force of peace between our peoples, a force of war against the Aldemir Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and other such upstart powers. Today I ask you to think of the Ebonheart Pact as a force for wealth. Until now, Black Marsh has remained largely closed to trade, other than that in Argonian slaves. The inhabitants have never been willing to deal with their enemies. However, Shadowfen is slightly more developed than the rest of the marsh. It is Shadowfen that is the gateway to riches. For only a small commission, I can take your goods to Shadowfen and sell them to the Argonians. They are a people with relatively few fine goods, yet are no duller or less covetous than your Dunmeri customers. The Argonians will be lining up for our scales and steels. Sorry, that's not what it says at all. The Argonians will be lining up for our silks and steels. The potential demand is almost impossible to calculate. Give me your goods today, and I will bring you gold tomorrow. Forge in the heart of Mundus. Sleeping through the shadows. Alright. I'm not gonna steal anything in the bank. It's fine. Okay, so we gotta go this way.
I saw strange lights coming from Telvanni. I thought it was deserted.
Stay away.
effects of the Elder Scrolls. It is widely known among scholars that the Elder Scrolls entail a certain hazard in their very reading. The mechanism of the effects has, at present, been largely unknown. Theories of hidden knowledge and divine retribution were the subject of idle speculation with little investigation. I, Justinius Polonius, have undertaken to thoroughly document the ailments inflicted by the Elder Scrolls on their readers, though a unified theory of how they manifest continues to elude me and remains a subject for future study. I have grouped the effects into 4, finding that the avenue of experience depends largely upon the mind of the reader. If this is unclear, I hope that a proper dichotomy will lay at a plane. Group the first, the nays, for one who has received no training in history or nature of the Elder Scrolls. The scroll itself is effectively inert. No prophecy can be scribed nor knowledge obtained. While the scroll will not impart learning to the uninformed, neither will it afflict them in any adverse fashion. Visually, the scroll will appear to be awash in odd lettering and symbols. Those who know their astronomy often claim to recognize constellation in the patterns and connections, but such conjecture is impossible to further investigate, since the very nature of the study necessitates unlearned subjects. The second group, the unguarded intellect. It is the second group that realizes the greatest danger from attempting to read the scrolls. These are subjects who have an understanding of the nature of the scrolls and possess sufficient knowledge to actually read what is inscribed there. They have not, however, developed adequate discipline to stave off the mind-shattering effect of having a glimpse of infinity. These unfortunate souls are struck immediately and completely blind, such as the price for overreaching one's faculties. It bears mentioning, though, that with the blindness also comes a fragment of that hidden knowledge. Whether the future, the past, or the deep natures of being is dependent on the individual and their place in the greater spheres, but the knowledge does come. The third, meditated understanding. Alone in Tamriel, it would appear that only the cult of the ancestor moth has discovered the discipline to properly guard one's mind when reading the scrolls. Their novitates must undergo the most rigorous mental cultivation, and they often spend a decade or more at the monastery before being allowed to read their first scroll. The monks say this is for the initiate's own protection, as they must have witnessed many unguarded intellects among their more eager ranks. With appropriate fortitude, these readers also receive blindness, though at a far lesser magnitude than the unguarded. Their vision fogs slightly, but they retain shape, color, and enough acuity to continue to read mundane texts. The knowledge that they gain from the scroll is also tempered somewhat. It requires stages of meditation and reflection to fully appreciate and express what one saw. The fourth group, the illuminated understanding. Between the previous group and this one exists a continuum that has, at present, only been traversed by the monks of the ancestor moth. With continued readings, the monks become gradually more and more blind, but receive greater and more detailed knowledge. As they spend their waking hours pondering the revelations, they also receive a further degree of mental fortitude. There is, for every monk, a day of penultium reading, when the only knowledge the Elder Scroll imparts is that the monk's next reading shall be his last. For each monk, the penultimate reading comes at a different and unknowable time. Preliminary work has been done to predict the occurrence of charting the severity of an individual monk's blindness, but all who reach these later stages reports that the increasing blindness seems to taper with an increased readings. Some pose the notion that some other unseen sense is, in fact, continuing to diminish at this upper range, and I shall leave such postulations to philosophers. To prepare for his ultimate reading, a monk typically withdraws to seclusion in order to reflect upon a lifetime of revelations and appoint his mind for reception of his last. Upon this final reading, he is forever blinded as surely as those unguarded ones who race to knowledge. The illuminated one, though, has retained his understanding over a lifetime and typically possesses a more integral notion of what has been revealed to him. It is hoped that this catalogue will prove useful to those who wish to further our mortal understanding of the Elder Scrolls. The moth priests remain aloof about these matters, taking the gradual debilitation that comes with reading as a point of pride. May this serve as a useful starting point for those hoping to take up such study. Hello, don't mind me. They've been charred. The shaman's notes may reveal what happened. Examine the notes. Initial reviews suggested the subject died from heat or flames, but the burns do not extend beyond the surface of the skin. Whatever caused these burns was no natural flame. Subject bears a wound on her chest, a clean and precise cut. Upon consultation, this combination of wounds is unknown to the local Mages Guild. Naldine's and Dalder's body looks relatively unharmed, but the shaman notes may reveal more. Subject died from a single stab wound to the heart. The strike is clean and precise. There is no visible signs of struggle. I noticed a small separate cut quite near the mortal wound. I estimate this cut was made after the subject's death. What's with you? Why are you all sad? Reveals Arlene's throat was slit. Subject died from a precise cut to the throat. The cut runs deep enough to sever a vein and vocal cords. The body shows no sign of struggle. A small, precise cut upon the chest was made after the subject's death.
You there! Please, I have an urgent message!
What's up? Hi.
Gethys Omabar sent me. It's about his wife, Ironi.
Something wrong?
Gethys saw Ironi, alive. He watched her enter their home on the other side of Stormhold. He asked you to meet him there as soon as you can.
Meet him there. Some steep stairs. Can you imagine trying to climb these every day? I wonder why she got stuck. Stone steps that steep, walking down them in humidity. Ugh, in a swamp area?
Can you believe it? I saw Omelexia herself. I am forever blessed by the Healing Mother.
That.
New research awaits.
Dude, I need you to get to level 20. Is that for me? Okay.
Praise Vivek. Halva found you. Whatever's in my home, it isn't my wife.
Happened.
Ironi. My Ironi. She's gone. I know that. But when I saw her enter our home, I had to find out how she'd returned. That's when she stabbed me. If that Argonian hadn't leapt between us, she'd have finished me off.
What Argonian?
I don't know. But he tried to save my life. They were still fighting when I crawled out the door. They both moved so fast. Please, help him remove that imposter from my home. Don't worry about me. I'll soon see my true Ironi.
Do what I can. Hello. Thing I want to particularly read. Sorry, I didn't add anything to anything. I will examine him in just a second. Now, I'll examine him. The Argonian's body is still warm. It's covered in numerous cuts and scorch marks. A careful search of his clothing discovers a hidden pocket containing a small journal. Entry 441. 3 dark elves killed in Stormhold. The rumors call it our work. Preposterous. The Night Mother gifted none of them with her call. I'll return to the Enclave when I discover who's behind this. Entry 442. Just watched Ironi Amabar enter her home. This isn't right. Her body remains at the mortuary. Going to see what this creature wants and why it wears her face. weird little path. None of my business. That's what I'm here for. Hey, Fuck. Oh no, you're a baby girl. Gar. Oh, look at him. He's so cute. He's so tiny. Hello. Distracted. So distracted.
Well, you're a blue reed in yellow peat. From out of town, yes? Yes. You're in luck, blue reed. Gold runs dry on long journeys. But I've got just the thing to moisten your purse.
What are you asking exactly?
Mercenaries roil Stormhold's waters for no good reason. They move amongst my people, swaggering and taking what they will. Strange they never bother the Dark Elves, yes? None here lift a claw to stop them. But you aren't from here, and I have gold.
What do you want me to do?
Encourage them to leave, Blue Reed. How you do it is your concern. Then I fill your purse, yes. Perhaps you should pretend to consider a purchase. Or perhaps you should consider a purchase, Such prices, unheard of in all of Stormhold.
Okay, I'll go talk to the
The
mercenaries.
mercenaries only make things worse with the Dark Elves. Better if Stormhold is one happy family. And if you plan to start a family, might I suggest a vial of powdered Kaguti horn for heightened potency? No? Your loss.
Thanks for the offer, though.
Have we met? No. Then walk the other way.
How much coin do they pay for you to harass the Argonians?
I don't bully innocent folk, not for the pittance I'm paid. But you're right. This isn't what I signed up for.
Want to see my knife? Then keep talking.
I don't want to force you out of town, but I will if I have to.
How about that? My third fight of the day with a milk-drinking fool.
Didn't particularly want to kill you, but you know.
The
Hey,
shadow scales aren't taking any more.
I do what I'm paid to do. We've got to earn a living.
if you won't leave, I'll make you leave.
How are you going to do that from the bottom of the swamp?
Leave. What are those two doing? None of my business. None of my business.
Find someone else to bother.
Admit it, you target Argonians.
It's not like that. The Argonians don't pay us a cut is all. But maybe the other side of town could use a patrol, right?
Alright. That was easy enough. Where did he go?
Ah, you're the one. Seems we need to have a chat about Doubts the Moon.
Where is Doubts the Moon?
Said he stirred up trouble with some mercs and had to leave town. Asked Duskscale to take over his shop permanently. Mentioned you too. Said he'd pay you extra for your silence. Said you were smart enough to take a hint.
Far away is that? We can hear it. Am I close enough to do it? I don't...
Sanctioned killers on our doorstep, and we're worried about invaders.
I wouldn't say that too loud.
Ruthless competition. The Cyrodiilic collection is the foremost society dedicated to the retrieval, restoration, preservation, and return of Argonian antiquities to their rightful owners in Murkmire. Seeks the best and brightest to join its ranks. If you care about history and seek to correct the mistakes of the past, then Cyrodiilic collections wants you. Please look for in blah blah. Oh, you accepted a prologue quest. Not going to do prologue. Any other quests I need to worry about in town? There's one right there. We'll do that later. Let's go talk.
Heard the shadow scales about taking the place.
Vice Canon Hrondar is indisposed. He informed me you've been assisting us in our recent troubles. Are you any closer to discovering the killer?
From what I found, someone is framing the Shadow Scales for the murders.
Then we can concentrate our efforts elsewhere. Many will blame the Shadow Scales regardless, but our concerns are greater now than scapegoats. I fear the true culprit struck again, though I pray I'm incorrect. When I said Vice Canon Hrondar was indisposed, I spoke half the truth. He's missing, and I fear it's the work of our killer. This is why Vice Canon Servina and I request your utmost discretion in recovering Vice Canon Hrondar to us.
What can I do?
Listens to water as one of our little fish, our eyes and ears. He signals when he possesses urgent information for the Vice Canons. A short while ago, we received his signal. Be swift and silent as currents in a stream. Speak with Listens to Water on our behalf.
Where can I find him?
Look for the mud huts. Don't ask for him by name, or he'll think you a debt collector. Remain discreet. If Listens to Water found the scent of Vice Canon Hrondar, follow it until its end.
Alright, I'll see what he knows. Oh, nah! Ah, what is with all the steep stairs?
Your doors tonight. They found another one.
This just sounds like this was a zombie happening. Oh no. The Argonian in this hut was recently killed. His body is still warm. The flesh of his body looks charred, just like Aroni's body. There's no mistaking the similarity in the wounds. Bad kitty. Bad kitty. I'll take the fish, though. Stealing all of this guy's stuff. He's not gonna eat it. Hi. No dead end here, but sometimes there's treasures to be found in dead ends. Not this time, though. Be a little sneaky. These two. Have I mentioned how much I love their pillaging system? I just... Skin Stiller Cutthroat. That is a name.
Hostilities ended.
Help me,
Now,
please.
to relax.
an Argonian maiden oral tradition. Recently, I attended a stage production called The Lusty Argonian Maid. Body, delightful, filled with innuendo. I am surprised it was never presented in this form before. According to my research, the Lusty Argonian Maid has its origins in a long line of tales told by traveling bards, each with a slightly different...
Now we just need to brew up some tea.
different title and premise, but the same end result. A female innocent succumbs to the charms of a dominant married male character. In the South, the tale was occasionally presented as the Lusty Bosmary and 2 Moons for Sugar. I've also heard Shornholm's Lusty Orifice and the Sandy Spear of Elker. A liquor? A liquor. I don't know. The maiden's tight hold in taverns across the north and northwest. In a stage play, each of the character archetypes is brought to life before the audience. I know that poor guy is waiting over on the side. He's fine. Is brought to life before the audience. Unless the acting is superb, the subject matter can come off flat and uninspired. Can you imagine if you're a vice canon being held captive and you paid for someone to come to your town to figure out this murder and they're just standing here reading a book? Unless the acting is superb, the subject matter can come off flat and uninspired. Also, play takes away from the verbal dexterity exhibited by a bard, such as the legendary Khajiit, the tale singer. The feline bard describes the various ploys used by the man to bring the maiden to her knees in a way that made one's pulse race and breath quicken, wondering what would come next. Indeed, much of the Argonian Maid borrows heavily from the tale singer's songs, uncredited, but naturally I recognize them immediately, in which the maiden helps the male with a spear, a loaf of bread, and a split flask of coconut milk. Unfortunately, the players in the current production of the Lusty Argonian Maid are excellent, bringing this age-old tale to new heights. The reference to the spear of the hunter would bring laughter to the most sullen, and the wheel of cheese, well, I've never seen this variant before, but it was truly inspiring. I know. Got it, Xander? Alright, let's go get our big guy. Hi.
Shaw's bones, it's good to see you. The Dominion right under our noses. Damned insidious. I have to warn Servina and Hetamin. Quick, untie me.
You alright?
Yes, but I've been here less than a day. Some of Stormhold's citizens were here longer, held in the alcoves nearby. I'll distract these Dominion snowbacks. Should buy you time to free the prisoners. Meet me on the surface.
Probably won't have time to read these, but I'm just gonna check the shelves. Some elves disdain to venerate the Adast Stendar on the grounds that he is the apologist of men and thus unworthy of worship by the children of Aldemiris. But if these narrow folk would open their souls to Stendar's mercy, they would understand that Stendar in his love cherishes and protects all mortals, even perhaps, particularly, those who are less fortunate in their heritage. It is for this reason that we, the sect of harmonious masters, have dedicated ourselves to adapting the magic of Stendar's light onto spells of healing that can be employed by all mortal races, not even excepting the beasts as people. The restorative virtues of our rituals and ceremonies are equally efficacious for every race. Efficacious? I'm so sorry. For every race. They can be cast by individuals of every blood, no matter how degraded, so long as they have the will and the wisdom to learn how to use them. As Stendar in his boundless mercy has given all mortals the potential ability to employ his magical gifts, we of the Harmonious Masters feel honor-bound to provide knowledge of these spells to all peoples of Nirn freely and without hindrance. We can think of no higher cause than to improve the general welfare of all folk in every culture. Okay. One could hope that we're getting through... Did I make it through these bookshelves? I did. I did.
Onward and upward!
particularly matter. Won't scream satisfying. By the way, in the loading screen when you come into this dungeon, the name of this dungeon translate, I guess, into library, which is why we're seeing so many. Hello.
I owe you my life.
Right.
Help.
Come in.
I thought I'd never escape.
Boiled food? I'll leave this boiled food.
You did it. I'm free.
Owe you my life.
Why are these guys so toasty? Where I wanted to go? No. It was connected.
Gods, it felt good to bury an axe in their throats. From the prisoners trickling out, I trust you enjoyed yourself as much as I. Did you free them all?
Yes, they're safe. Are you alright?
I'd be better if the damned ruins beneath my feet weren't infested with Dominion. We've posted guards until reinforcements can wipe them clean. You kept this city from tearing itself apart. Stormhold's in your debt. If the Dominion sent a large force to infiltrate Stormhold, they must have a camp somewhere in Shadowfell. It's time we take the fight to them.
Where do you think it'd be?
Tenma Walk, a Daedric ruin southeast of here. It's big enough to harbor a substantial enemy force, and close enough to trouble Stormhold. Besides, my scouts report signs of activity within. I'll take a regiment to Tenma Walk. Don't want to take any chances.
You need any help?
You freed me from the Dominion's clutches before those skin-stealing milk drinkers could kill me and wear my face. Of course I could use your help. Meet my regiment at Tenma Walk. Keep your blades sharp. I'll find a way to turn you loose on the Dominion.
I'll meet you at 10 Marfolk. Woke. I loved how he said that. Like, yeah, could use your help. Alright. I should stop here. I gotta go to work in about half an hour. Alright, thanks guys for keeping me company. I'll be back with another episode really soon.